Ranking every QB in the NFL 2025 version, let's go. Starting off our list at number 32, we have Tyler Shuck of the New Orleans Saints, drafted in the second round of this year's draft. No one was really expecting him to be QB1 going into the season, but however, the starting QB for the Saints, Derek Carr, unexpectedly retired out of nowhere, so Tyler Shuck was thrown into the QB1 role with no warning whatsoever, and so that's why he starts off as the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. Things could change, but that's where he's at right now. At number 31, we have Deshaun Watson, and I don't really think I need to explain this one. Dude shouldn't even be a starter in the NFL anymore. Ever since he got traded to Cleveland, more allegations have come out. He's been suspended and injured multiple times. He's been benched multiple times. Well, actually, I don't know if he's ever been benched, but anyway, he's been playing terrible ever since he got to Cleveland, especially last season. I don't know how last season wasn't his final straw. This better be his final straw. Cleveland better swallow their pride if he does bad this season and get rid of him. At number 30, we have J.J. McCarthy. He didn't play last year in his rookie season because he had a torn ACL, and I don't know if he would have played anyway because Sam Darnold was just balling out for Minnesota next year, but this will be his first season, but since he hasn't played any games, I have him at number 30. At number 29, we have Michael Penix. Now, he only started a few games last year, and it was mainly because Kirk Cousins was falling off pretty bad and made that Michael Penix pick look freaking genius, but now he's off to year 2 and there's high expectations for him. I think he's going to do pretty good next year, but since he hasn't started and played a lot of games, I have him at 29 for now. Number 28, we got Anthony Richardson, still very unproven. He didn't have the best season last year in his second season. If you remember his rookie season, he did decent, he did pretty good, but he only played 4 games and was injured for the rest of the season, so we will see how 2025 goes. It might be a make or break year for AR-15. At number 27, we have Drake May. A lot of these guys are going to be young, unproven players who did good in years 1 and 2, but haven't shown a lot yet. And I'm sure Drake May is going to improve a lot in year 2, being the number 3rd overall pick last season in 2024. And not only that, but you get Stephon Diggs over the offseason, so I'm sure Drake May is going to improve heavily in year 2. At number 26, we have Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft, and I hope he does well. This Titans organization has done terrible the last few years, but I hope they used Cam Ward right. I hope they treat him well. I hope he does well in Tennessee, but we'll see what he does. At number 25, we have Justin Fields. Now, he's attempting to revive his career with the Jets. This is his real first starting opportunity since he's been with the Bears, and it's not impossible for his career to revive. We saw Sam Darnold revive his career last year with the Vikings, but if you're attempting to have a career revival with the New York Jets, odds are it's probably not going to happen. He has some solid options like Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson, but when you're in the New York Jets organization, my hopes are not high. At number 24, we have Bryce Young. Bryce Young had a pretty nice step up from year 1 to year 2, especially in the second half of the season, and I believe in Bryce Young. I think he can take an even bigger leap in year 3. I'm a Bryce Young believer. I'm hoping he's higher than 24 at least. At number 23, we have Trevor Lawrence, and if you were to tell me entering year 5, Trevor Lawrence would be perceived as the 23rd best quarterback in the NFL, I would not believe you at all. He should be a top 5 quarterback by now, but instead he's sitting all the way down here, and it's a little worrisome. They have him on a big contract. Last year was not good. Hopefully this year is a big step up. He has Brian Thomas. He still has Etienne, who had a down year as well, and they have a new coach regime and all that, so hopefully year 5, 2025 goes well for him and the Jags. At number 22, we have Gino Smith, now the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders, and it might be a little disrespectful to have him this low. He wasn't bad really last year, finished top 15 in passing yards and passing touchdowns. However, he did finish in the top 3 in interceptions thrown, and he's entering his year 35 season. He turns 35 in October 10th. I don't know what the grammar was there, but he is coming back into Pete Carroll's system. I can see this being a great season or a horrible season. At number 21, we have Russell Wilson, now with the New York Giants. Speaking of which, the Giants have the weirdest quarterback situation in the NFL besides the Browns. You got him, Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito, Jackson Dart, 4 very decent quarterbacks all in one room. Very bizarre, but anyway, after last season, or entering last season, I thought that was going to be Russell Wilson's last chance in the NFL if it didn't go well, and it went all right with the Steelers, and I guess he did good enough to get a chance with the Giants. we'll just see how the season goes. I'm not expecting a whole lot. Again, very interesting situation. At number 20, we have Brock Purdy, and the discussion with him in 2023 and the beginning of last year was so interesting, and I think before the season, he was one of the most overhated quarterbacks in the NFL. That title's belonged to Jaylen Herz, and we'll get into that, but with how injury prone he was and how banged up the 49ers were in general, and with, in my opinion, other people passing him, I have him at number 20. If this were last year, or just, I had him a lot higher, but again, with just circumstances that happened last season, I have him at number 20, but I would not be surprised if he's way up higher by the end of the year. At number 19, we have Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams didn't do too bad last season. I think he did pretty good, despite the fact that he had unreal expectations set on him, and the Bears were supposed to make the playoffs, and they only won 5 games. And since it's the Bears, I wouldn't be surprised if they let down Caleb Williams yet again, but I expect him to be higher. Am I just expecting every quarterback to be higher? I don't know, but I expect a lot of these quarterbacks to do good next season. At number 18, we have Sam Darnold, now on the Seattle Seahawks. He had a revival year last season, absolutely proved everybody wrong. The reason I have him a little lower is because during the late side of the season, he was playing a little bit worse. For some reason, the Lions and the Rams were his kryptonite last season, but he could prove me wrong this season and be way higher than I have him, so we'll just wait and see. At number 17, we have Aaron Rodgers, and last season with the Jets was definitely a disappointment. He's definitely washed. He's not what he once used to be, but he's not terrible by any means. He's still a decent, solid, serviceable quarterback, and him now with the Steelers, so this is probably his last chance in the NFL. At number 16, we have Kyler Murray. This was before 2022. Kyler Murray would be a borderline top 10 quarterback, but stuff just has not gone his way since then. I'm really hoping he returns to that form. He's still good, but I hope he returns to being a top 10 quarterback in 2025. I think it's possible. At number 15, we have Tua. Tua's probably the most unlucky quarterback in the NFL. We've really only gotten to see one full healthy season of Tua, and that was in 2024. So hopefully, not 2024, it's 2023. So hopefully 2025 is a good and healthy season for Tua, because if he's healthy, he can easily be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. At number 14, we have Matthew Stafford, and these next 6 to 7 guys, you could really change either way. You can rank them wherever you want from 14 to 8. I'm gonna have Matthew Stafford here at 14. Dude is still a baller entering year 17. He's got Puka Nacua now. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got a very solid core around him. I'm really rooting for him and the Rams this next season. At number 13, we have Jordan Love. He's going to be entering his 3rd full year starting as the Green Bay Packers starting quarterback, and I have high hopes for him. I definitely think he can be higher than 13 this next upcoming season. I'm ready for him to ball out, man. At number 12, we have Bo Nix. Guys, I love Bo Nix. There's a lot to love about him, but anyway, he had a very, very good rookie season last year, and if it weren't for Jaden Daniels, he probably would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year, and year 2 looks to be an even better season. Sophomore slump could definitely happen. We'll see. By the way, I should have met Bo Nix in 2022, but he had caught COVID, so I couldn't meet him. Very sad times, but good luck to Bo Nix. At number 11, we have Jared Goff. Jared Goff was very solid last season under Ben Johnson's offense, and without Ben Johnson, we'll see how he does in 2025. I'm sure he's still going to be good. I think a lot of people, in a weird way, say he's overrated, so he becomes underrated. I think he's heavily underrated. I know he's in a good system, but I'm pretty high on Jared Goff. We now enter our top 10, and starting at number 10, we have Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield last season finished top 3 in passing yards and passing touchdowns, also interceptions, but we do not talk about that, and I'm really happy for Baker Mayfield, man. Completely turned his career around. He's easily a guy that's easy to root for. That's interesting, but I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield next season. Coming in at number 9, we have Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. I know some people are hating this pick. Why is he so high? He was terrible last season before he got injured. I understand, but when he is good, last few seasons, he's been one of the best quarterbacks statistically in the NFL for years now. Finished 2nd in MVP voting in 2023. When healthy, he's phenomenal. We'll see how it goes under Schottenheimer now. I don't like that hiring, but we will see how it goes. I'm sure he's still going to be phenomenal, though. At number 8, we have CJ Stroud of the Houston Texans. Now, year 2 was a little bit of a down season compared to his rookie year, but he's still very solid, still a phenomenal young player that's going to lead the Texans to hopefully a Super Bowl sometime soon. I don't know if Tank Dell's come back quite yet. We'll see, but I'm sure C.J. Stroud is still going to be phenomenal in the NFL. At number 7 is Justin Herbert, and Herbert is probably the most discussed about quarterback in the NFL. Him or this guy we're going to be talking about next. And listen, if he can have a huge playoff run and if he can win a Super Bowl, all those things, Herbert is easily a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, maybe even top 3. At number 6, we have Jaylen Herz, the most discussed about player in the NFL in my opinion. Won the Super Bowl last season with the Eagles, and I know some people are going to be mad that he's too low or that he's too high, but I'll just say this, being the Super Bowl winning quarterback is very impressive no matter how bad or how good you are. You might be Trent Dilfer or you might be Tom Brady. It's still impressive. And Jaylen Herz, I think a lot of people, like I said, I talked about one guy earlier, I forgot who it was. Was it Jared Goff? I'm not sure, but people say that this player is overrated so much he becomes underrated. That's how I feel about Jaylen Herz easily. I think he's still a good, phenomenal player, even though people say that he's not that good. I think he's very underrated, but this is where I have him. I think he's number 6. At number 5, we have Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels last season had one of the best rookie seasons of all time, instantly became a top 10 passer in the NFL, became one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the NFL, turned the Commanders from the second worst team in the NFL in 2023 to one of the best in 2024 and led them to the NFC Championship game. The future is bright for him and the Commanders. At number 4, we have Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to be turning 30 in September, which is absolutely insane. I feel pretty old just thinking about that. But anyway, you might be thinking, why is he 4? Why is he not number 1? His team keeps on winning everything. Well, these last 2 seasons have been down seasons for Mahomes, but every quarterback goes to this at some point in their career. Brady went through it, Manning went through it. You're going to have down points in your career, and Mahomes is, I'm most certainly positive he's going to come back to that point and continue to dominate, and that's pretty much why I have him at number 4. At number 3, we have Joe Burrow, and sadly this full image can't fit, but the shirt he's wearing is freaking phenomenal. But anyway, it really sucks because he's proven to be a top 5 quarterback year after year after year, and he has the second best wide receiver in the NFL on the side, but he is led by an atrocious defense and I'm going to say a bad head coach. Hopefully the Bengals get back to that point that they were in 2021 and 2022. Yeah, let's just hope for that. At number 2, we have Josh Allen. He won last year's MVP. Man, look at him. He's so awesome. I hope he's number 1 by the end of the season. I love Josh Allen. And at number 1, we have Lamar Jackson. I think he's proved himself to be the best quarterback in the NFL. 2023, he won MVP. I'm not gonna lie, he didn't deserve it. He should have gone to CMC, but maybe besides Dak, was statistically the best quarterback in the NFL that season. And then last season, he should have won MVP, which is kind of funny how things work. He was easily the best quarterback in the NFL. I won't say easily, but he was the best quarterback in the NFL last season. And I think 2025, he's only going to get better. His team got better. I think watch out for 2025 because I think he's going to have one of the best quarterback seasons in NFL history. And that's the end of the video, guys. Yeah, that's it. Jesus loves you, and goodbye.